Okay, guys, this is Sean, and this is I'm gonna say it's an important video, but one, like little uh, discretion, I will be moving around, so if you don't like that in videos, you can just flip it over or something. This has to be said because this is my mission statement for the channel. It's what I want to do. This is the biggest thing, the one thing I want everyone who comes to the channel to get from it. And so here it goes. The main reason I do the videos on animals and different weird facts or like interesting things is because I love the idea of learning something new and getting just one new thing from something that I've already known, or learning about something I've never even known existed. For example, just a few days ago, I learned there's a whole species, like there's a whole group of birds called go-away birds. I didn't even know that was a thing. But they actually look really beautiful and they're wonderful. Like if you have time, just like look them up on Google Images and they look wonderful. But the main reason I make the videos about like things you didn't know about this, or as I'm going to end up making more videos on what you like misunderstood things about this, or information about this, is because if I can teach one person, just say everyone else who watches the video just kind of zones out. If I can teach one person one new fact about that animal, I call it a success. I mean, I could get 5 views on a video, and if just one person got something from it, I've won. Because as I've said, I think once or twice, or I don't even know how many times before, but I can't stand hate, but you can't directly fight hate. You have to give knowledge to fight hate, because hate comes from fear and ignorance. And don't take ignorance the wrong way, because ignorance comes from two different things. It could be coincidental ignorance, like you were just never taught this, or it could be what is it? There's another word for on purpose, but I can't think of it. Intentional. Or it could be intentional ignorance, where you refuse to learn about something. And either one isn't good, because it causes hate for something. Because when you're ignorant of something, you fear it because you don't know about it, and because you're ignorant, you don't know anything about it. So my big thing is I want to eliminate ignorance from it. Eliminate ignorance from the whole equation. I want to teach people that, hey, okay, so you don't know about this and you're afraid of it. Snakes. I might make a whole video just about snakes and how amazing they are, and how a whole bunch of areas wouldn't exist if it weren't for snakes. How a whole bunch of animals wouldn't exist if it weren't for snakes. And about how many different animals that we would hate if they over-existed because of snakes. Cough, cough, mice and rats and all those rodents and all. That's another thing. I don't hate any animal, I just dislike them. I don't hate spiders, but I will stomp a spider if I see one. It's just like, I'm good with you as long as you aren't in my line of sight. That's the only deal I have with spiders and stuff. Now, another thing, back to if I could just like reach one person, if I can reach one person, I call that a win. If they tell one of their friends one of the facts they learned in a video about an animal that maybe they didn't understand, then I call that another win. If they share that with their friends, and then even if they only share it to one, even if each person only shared it to one person, I've won at least 5 times, because everyone's like, hey, look at this. This is interesting. We were just talking about this animal. Hey, look at that. And it's amazing to think that one little video, a very cheap video made on a laptop in front of a fish tank or walking around a house, which is probably very annoying now because it's changing light levels that are like bright and dark. So let me turn this on. Maybe that'll help. Like changing light levels, so that might be annoying. But it makes me think that one little drop could cause a tidal wave of change. And when you have a group of people that start to think different, then they start to believe differently about something. When they start to believe differently, then they start to act differently. And once you get a large enough group of people that start to act differently towards a certain thing, then you have change. And that's what I'm ultimately going for. I want change of how we see things. Like, I'm gonna go on it because I know it's gonna be very controversial for some people. Last year I did a whole essay over why anything that we say is Islamic terrorism isn't Islamic at all, because not many people know about it. They're quite ignorant of it because there isn't much information being put out about that side of the story. So my whole thing is, okay, I'm going to release the other side of the story that people don't know or they didn't even know there was. And if we can have enough of that happening where you get to see, hey, yeah, this is happening, but also this is there, then it puts new light in every situation that you have. You have, like, I had a whole conversation with someone about bats. They completely hated bats. They thought all bats are bloodsuckers, all bats drink people's blood, and they cause rabies. That can't be farther from the truth. There are in total 2 species of bats that drink blood. Bats are actually very clean. You're more likely to get rabies from a dog. You're more likely to get rabies from a dog, a cat, a wolf, and a fox all at the same time than you are to get rabies from a bat. I don't even know how that rumor spread, but apparently that's how it went. So after I explained that to them, and I explained just how important bats are to environments, especially to farms. Like, bats, their poop is extremely good for plants. They eat all of the insects that destroy crops. And then also, some bats pollinate flowers that other insects and birds can't. Like, for example, what was that? Moonflowers. They open at night and they don't have much of a scent, so they don't attract many insects. One of their greatest pollinators, because they have such a great sense of smell and they can actually be able to see it, is bats, because they can get to it, they drink the nectar, pollinate it, there we go. So it's win-win. And also bats, and I didn't know this until a few weeks ago when I was talking to my friend Sam, bats are a big pollinator of honeysuckles. It's like a big plant anywhere, especially down in the South, because everyone knows if you take a honeysuckle and you pull out the middle of it, it tastes like honey. Don't know who tested that the first time, but I'm glad they did, because that's legitimately the best taste in the world. Yeah, if you can just find one thing about something that either you hate, you're afraid of, you don't like, I don't know what other situations it would be, but if you can just find one fact about that animal and learn about it, then you fear it less. You don't hate it anymore. You actually become curious, and that's one of the things I want to do. I want to turn hate into curiosity. And with that, I think I'm actually going to have to say goodbye because my phone is about to shut off. See you guys.